Hello and welcome to On the Mat with Lydia. That's me. And whatever has brought you to your yoga practice today, you are very welcome here. Today's class, we're working towards a peak pose. So what that means is that our practice is going to look like a mountain. So we'll start out by doing a warm-up, getting ready for this peak pose, which today will be our dancer pose. So dancer is a standing balance pose as well as a back bend. So there's a lot of little aspects that go into this. So the first probably 3/4 of our practice is going to be getting us ready, getting our bodies prepared for that shape. And then after we hit our peak, we're going to come down the mountain, stretch it out, cool it down, get ourselves ready for a nice savasana. So for this practice today, you might want to grab 2 yoga blocks and a blanket if you have them. You might also want to set up your mat near a wall, near a couch, near a chair, something that you can use to help you balance as well. And whenever you're ready, let's get on the mat. Let's begin our practice in a comfortable seated position, just so we can have a few moments to really center and arrive for the practice. So when you're ready, if you're not already there, make your way to that comfortable seat. Take a moment, feel your sits bones connect with the earth. Feel your spine lengthen up to the sky. And then relaxing your arms by your sides. Please close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable for you. And take a moment here to let your body be still. And begin to transition away from your day so far. And arrive fully on your yoga mat. Bringing your awareness to your breath. How your breath moves in your body. How your body inhabits this space in which you're sitting. And taking just a moment here to scan your awareness through your body from head to toe. And just check out what's going on in here today. Are there any sensations? Any areas that feel a little bit tight or crunchy? Any spaces that feel nice and open? Just taking a few moments here to explore and get curious. And all together here, let's take one more big breath in. Let it out with a sigh or a sound. And if your eyes are closed, slowly flutter them open, readjust the light in your space. Let's transition now onto hands and knees. Please find all fours. So take your time to get here. As you arrive, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And let's start with a nice long spine here. So drawing the crown of your head forward, lengthening your tailbone back. Now as you inhale, begin to draw your shoulder blades together. Lift your heart, your tailbone, your chin. As you exhale, draw your shoulder blades apart. Start to round your back. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. Again, inhaling to arch through your back, finding your cow pose. And as you exhale, rounding through your spine, finding your cat. And please take a few more rounds on your own here. And we're starting here for a couple of reasons today. First reason is that we really want to warm up the spine because, as I mentioned, our dancer pose, our peak today is a back bend. And the second reason is for us to start linking our breath with our movement, really dropping into that deep connection with your body. So let's take one more full round here to feel into that connection, using your inhale to find your cow and your exhale to find your cat. And this time at the bottom of that exhale, start to shift your hips back towards your heels, coming towards child's pose or something similar. Now you choose how far back the hips want to go today. They might not come all the way back towards the heels. But wherever you are, see if you can drop your head in between your arms. Let's take just a few moments to breathe here. Feeling that your breath not only moves through the front of your body, but you can start to feel your breath moving into your back body. Those inhales really expanding all these spaces around your spine, your low back, your hips. And with your exhales, feeling this natural release, this sinking into the support of the mat. Then with your next natural inhale, slowly rise back up to your tabletop position. Now at this point, we are going to be on the knees for a little bit longer. So if you'd like to grab your blanket, slide it underneath your knees, or even roll up your yoga mat a couple times, use that as a cushion. But we'll meet back in that tabletop position. Let's root down through the left hand. As you inhale, sweep your right arm out and up. As you exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left, reach towards that side of your mat. Then inhale, we're going to sweep the right arm back out and up. Exhale, thread that arm through. One more time like that. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread under and reach. Good. This time as you inhale, open up, let the chest turn. As you exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left. This time drop all the way down onto your right shoulder. So while you're here, if your right ear does not touch the floor, then you might choose to bring a block or a blanket underneath your head just so you have a little pillow. We're just going to be here for a few breaths today, but if you want, you can start to walk that left hand towards the top of your mat. Taking just a few breaths over into that right shoulder. Let's take another inhale here. Exhale completely. Pushing through your left hand to help you out. Let's take an inhale to rise back up. Sweep that right arm open once more. And exhale, right hand down, tabletop position. Wiggle it out a little bit here. Take some movement. And we're going to find that same thing on the other side. Looking to wake up our upper back a little bit more here. So this time we're going to root down through the right hand. As you inhale, sweep your left arm open. Exhale, thread left arm behind the right and reach through the fingertips. Good. Inhale, open your left arm. Exhale, reach. And one more like that. Inhale to open. Exhale, reach, threading your arm. Now this time as you inhale, open your left arm. As you exhale, thread left arm behind the right. Start to lower your left shoulder all the way towards the floor. Again, option to bring a little pillow underneath the left side of the face here. And then maybe your right fingertips walk up towards the top of your mat. Breathing into your upper back, into that left shoulder space here. And let's start to bring just a little bit of core connection into our practice here as well. So with your hips lifted over the knees, let's lift the belly button towards the spine. So we have this hugging in action that happens right there around the low belly. Good. Let's take another inhale here. And exhale. With the help of your right hand, take an inhale, press back up, reach your left arm open. Exhale, left hand to the mat, tabletop position, wiggle it out. Take a little bit of movement. Beautiful. Now, when you feel ready to transition, Let's tuck our toes behind us here. Start to shift your hips back towards your heels. And then power up your legs, lift your hips into the sky, coming into downward facing dog. Just for today, let's step the feet nice and wide apart. Left foot to the left, right foot to the right. And then bend your knees so that your heels just levitate up off the mat. Now from here, you might pedal out your heels, bending one knee then the other. You might keep your knees bent and shake the hips side to side. Or you might stay in stillness, taking a few breaths here. And if you're not already there, please start to settle into stillness, feeling that you can root down through your hands, through your feet. And breathing here, let's take another inhale. And exhale. Bending your knees even more deeply, take an inhale, look forward. As you exhale, take a walk to the top of your mat, being really intentional with each step. Eventually, your feet will meet your hands. From there, folding forward over your legs, Uttanasana. Now, once again, you might bring some movement into that shape if it feels nice. Or staying in stillness, just letting your upper body hang heavy. Starting to feel a little bit more sensation through this back line of your body. And let's take another breath in here. Complete breath out. Sliding your hands up to your shins or thighs, take an inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, rise all the way to standing, coming up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Beautiful. All right, let's warm things up a little bit more. Let's get moving into our flow here today. So from your Tadasana at the top of your mat, take an inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. As you exhale, fold forward, coming down towards the mat. Hands to your shins or thighs. As you inhale, find halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees enough to get your fingertips to the mat. Step your left foot back behind you. Gently lower your left knee down. Let's come into low lunge. So this is a great opportunity to grab your blocks if you want them, placing them to either side of that right foot, or you can bring your hands to the top of your right thigh. Wherever you choose to be, let's take an inhale here, lifting your heart. As you exhale, fingertips come back towards the mat. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Inhale, step back into your plank. Right foot meets your left. Let's stay for a little bit here just so we can start to feel the strength of our bodies a little bit more. So if you'd like to, you can always drop your knees to the mat, or you might even like to bring your forearms to the mat. Take a load off your wrists. So make this work for you wherever you are. We really just want to feel into this strength, especially through the core. So feel your belly button lifting in and up, inner thighs gently squeezing together, feeling as if all your muscles are hugging in towards the center line of your body. And let's take another inhale right here. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself all the way to your stomach. Does not have to be a graceful descent. Good. Untuck your toes, anchor down through your legs. As you next inhale, rise your chest just a couple inches for baby cobra. Keep your heart lifted here. Draw your navel towards your spine once again. Feel this space across the front of your chest. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, forehead slowly lowers to your mat. Inhale, pressing back up through hands and knees. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Find downward facing dog. And let's stay for a breath in and breath out. Inhaling to sweep your left leg behind you, three-legged dog. As you exhale, draw your knee towards your nose and step your left foot up to the top of your mat. Hands can help you get it there if you'd like. Back knee drops down, setting up for low lunge. Opportunity to find your blocks or lift your hands up to your thigh. Drop your hips, lift your heart, take an inhale here. As you exhale, fingertips find the floor. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. This time we'll inhale to step forward, come right into your halfway lift. As you exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale once again to your halfway lift. And as you exhale, rise all the way to stand, Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's keep this going, nice steady breath. As you inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step your right foot back this time. We're going to keep the right knee lifted. Drop your inner right heel down, turning your toes out to about a 45-degree angle, and then bend into your left knee. With an inhale, bring your hands up to the top of your left thigh, lift your chest away from your knee, coming up towards warrior one. So before we even bring the arms into the equation, take a moment to press down through the soles of your feet, both of them as equally as you can. And then feel your hips anchoring down towards the floor as your ribcage lifts up away from your hips. So we're creating a lot of length here through the spine. And then if you choose to, arms can reach for the sky. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, step back into your plank, left foot meets your right. As you exhale, bend your elbows close to your ribs as you lower down. Anchor through your legs as you inhale, rise your heart. Maybe staying in that baby cobra, or if you're ready, you can press into your hands, lift a little higher, maybe find cobra. Let's take another breath in. As you breathe out, forehead finds the mat. Inhale, press up through hands and knees. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Option for the feet to be wide apart here as you inhale. And exhale. Inhale, sending your right leg back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee towards your nose, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Back inner heel drops down, turning your toes out to that 45-degree angle. Nice strong bend in your front knee. Start by climbing your hands to the top of your right thigh. Lift your chest, starting to find your warrior one shape. So again, before we add the arms, really anchor down through your feet. See that you can just about square off your hips towards the top of your mat. It does not have to be perfectly straightforward. And then once you feel that foundation of your legs, maybe you rise your arms. Wherever you are, take a breath in. As you breathe out, hands come back down to the earth. Stepping forward with your inhale, find halfway lift. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Again, inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, rise all the way up to stand, Tadasana, mountain pose. Beautiful. Let's take a moment here, shake it out if that feels good. Just take a little bit of organic movement for a moment. And then find your breath once again, that nice steady rhythm of inhales and exhales. And then when you're ready, we're going to keep things moving here. So setting your feet up once again, just underneath the hips, or if it feels okay with your knees, you can bring your big toes together. Keep a little separation between your heels. Wherever you choose to be, take an inhale to sweep your arms up. As you exhale, sit your hips down and back, coming into chair pose. Now, if you prefer today, you can take your arms out of the equation, bringing your hands to your hips. If it feels okay for your shoulders, see how it feels to keep your arms up by your ears. And then as we take just a few more breaths here, see if you can send your hips back even more, and then sit lower as if you're actually about to come down into a chair. Beautiful. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through your spine. As you exhale, fingertips find the floor. Let's step the left foot back. Gently lower your left knee down. We're coming into our low lunge once again. So you have the option here once again to keep your hands down, either on the mat or on your blocks. Or if you feel ready at this point in your practice, you might choose to sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Now, wherever you are, we're going to find that same lengthening of the spine that we had in our warrior one. So feeling the energy of your hips moving down, rooting towards the earth, while your rib cage is lifting up and away. So we're creating all this space with this opposite action. And then what's there in the center to hold everything together? Your core. So draw your navel in towards your spine. Feel that strength there. Let's breathe into that for another inhale. As you exhale, sweep your arms down towards the mat. Shift your hips back towards your left heel. Starting to straighten that right leg, you can lift your toes towards the sky, looking for a little bit of a stretch through the back line of that right leg here. Keep sending your hips back towards that back edge of your mat, but feel still that your rib cage is trying to lengthen away from your tailbone. Let's take another inhale right here. Stay for the exhale. Beautiful. Let's start to move with the breath here. So as you inhale, rebend your front knee, come forward to your low lunge. As you exhale, sit your hips back, start to straighten that right leg, hamstring stretch. Inhale, rocking forward to your lunge. Exhale, rocking back to that hammy stretch. Please keep that going with your breath. Option to keep your hands down, kind of walking with you along the mat. Or if you choose, taking your inhale to rock forward and sweep the arms up. As you exhale, hips go back and arms sweep back. So arms just following the legs here, sweeping forward and back. Looking to wake up the hips a little bit more here as we keep flowing. Let's take one more round here. The next time that you come forward to your low lunge, please pause there. Let's all meet together. Let's find our hands either down on blocks or on the right thigh once again. Draw your navel in and up. Let's find that really strong core connection. Now this is somewhere where you might want a little extra padding under that left knee if you have it, so you can roll up your mat or grab your blanket. In our low lunge here, we're gonna tuck those left toes. Start to find a little squeeze in your lower left glute. And then as you feel ready, curl your left heel in towards your left glute. Start to feel some engagement there in the back of your thigh. That's your hamstring. So as best you can, keeping your spine tall, might be a nice place to have a wall nearby. And feeling this engagement that has to happen to curl your heel in. Now from there, if you get a little bit crampy, feel free to release, take a few breaths, then maybe come back in. Or if you'd like, while curling that heel in, you can reach your left hand back and try and catch the left foot. So same arm, same leg. And wherever you are, we've got one more breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly, gently release. Hands come to the mat, lift your back knee, and step back into your plank. Beautiful. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga, or skip it. Press straight back to down dog. Inhale for a back bend if you're taking that vinyasa. And exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Breath in here and breath out. With your next inhale, send your left leg back behind you, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your left foot up to the top of your mat. Drop your back knee down. We're setting up for low lunge on the other side. So already you might want to grab that cushion for the knee. Again, we always want to make sure that we're taking care of our bodies. So never a bad idea just to bring in a little bit of extra cushion. So as you set up, you have the option to keep your hands down or lift all the way up to the sky. And let's bring just a little bit more attention to our hips here. So notice if your left hip is tempted to kind of scrunch up towards your left shoulder. See if instead you can lengthen your left hip down and then gently hug it in towards center. So again, down and in. At the same time, that right hip is slightly gonna push forward, okay? So that's just gonna help us kind of square off the hips here. Hips pointing straight forward, shoulders pointing straight forward. And from there, let's take another breath in. As you breathe out, hands come down, hips go back. Let's find that hamstring stretch. So straightening that left leg, keeping a softness in the knee. Just looking for sensation through that back line of your leg here. Probably feels really good after that hamstring curl we did on the other side. So let's take another breath in here. And breath out. Moving with the breath now, let's inhale to re-bend the left knee, come forward to your lunge. As you exhale, rock your hips back, find that hamstring stretch. You know what to do, keep it going. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Now, whether you choose to keep your hands down or sweep your arms along with the movement of your hips, let's keep a little bit of awareness in the core here. So feel that you're keeping that connection of navel to spine. That way we're not kind of bananaing the back or dropping into the low back, but we're really allowing for this movement into the hips with a little bit of control. That way we're getting the engagement through our muscles that we really want here. Good, let's take one more round. You got it. Follow your breath. And the next time you come back to low lunge, please pause there. Let's all meet in our lunge. Hands come to the top of your left thigh or down to blocks. Anchor down through your left foot. So really get strong through that front leg. Feel it anchoring you to the floor. And then find that nice long spine that we've been practicing this whole time. Find that core connection. And when you're ready, let's tuck the right toes. Feel a little squeeze in your lower right glute here. So we're getting the engagement before we do anything else. And then, if you choose, start to curl your right heel up towards your right glute. Notice what happens around your pelvis and your low belly when you do that. See if you can keep, as best you can, this lengthening of your hips going down, that lifting of your rib cage coming up. And then maybe, if you want, you can reach that right hand back, try and catch your right foot. And if you are reaching for the foot, see if you can get to either the top of your foot or the inside edge, so that big toe side of the foot. Good. Breathe here. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly release your foot down. Hands come back to the mat. Let's tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Beautiful. Stepping forward with your inhale, find halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Again, inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, rise all the way up to stand, Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, time for a little bit of free movement. If you want it, shake it out, wiggle around, whatever feels nice for your body right here. And then when you're ready, we're gonna keep things moving. We're gonna keep going. So setting up once again for your chair pose, feet underneath your hips or big toes together, little space between your heels. Take an inhale to rise your arms. Exhale, sit your hips back and down, come into your chair. Again, arms can really do whatever they want here today. So if they want to drop down, if you want to keep them lifted, that's really up to you. Let's focus here a little bit more on the lower body, especially into the feet. So just a little playful thing here if you want to bring a little fun into your practice today. We're going to see if we can keep the 4 smaller toes rooted to the mat and just lift your big toes. So you might look down to help you out, but root down through the pinky toe, the 4th toe, the middle toe, the 2nd toe. See if you can keep those big toes lifted. And then switch that up. Drop the big toes down. See if you can lift your other 8 toes. And maybe do that a couple times, lifting the big toes and then lifting your smaller toes. All the while keeping the hips low. We're in that chair pose. Nice. Good. Let's take another inhale here in chair wherever you are. As you exhale, fold forward, come down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fingertips to the mat, fold down. Stepping your right foot back this time. We're going to keep the right knee lifted. Setting up for warrior 1 once again. So dropping your heel down, turning your toes out. Nice bend in the front knee. Before you rise to stand, hug your navel in and up, find that core connection. And then from that place of your core, start to rise. Hands to your thigh, to your hips, or to the sky, that's up to you. Anchoring the feet, the hips down, lifting your spine up. Beautiful. Now, if you choose today, you can stay in stillness here, just really feeling into this shape, or you have the option to add a little bit of more dynamic movement here today. So, if you choose to get a little bit funky with me, we're going to inhale to straighten the front knee, reach the arms up. As you exhale, sweep your arms back and down. Then inhale, rebend your front knee as your arms sweep forward. Exhale, start to straighten the legs, sweep back and down. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep your arms forward. Exhale, straighten your leg as you sweep back and down. Keep that going. And as you can see, I have a wall right next to me, so I'm bending my elbows as I bring the arms back. That's a-okay. If you have the space, then you can keep your arms straight. We're really just looking for that circling motion through the shoulders and finding just a little bit of movement through that front leg as you go. Beautiful. And next time that you exhale and bring your arms back behind you, please pause there. Option here to interlace your fingers behind you, so coming into this kind of one fist with the hands. Or if that feels crunchy for your shoulders, then you can grab for opposite elbows or bring your fists together. So choosing your option here, whatever you choose, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Create space in the front of your shoulder. Let's rebend that front knee with an inhale. As you exhale, hinge from your hips, start to fold forward to the inside of that left knee. This is our humble warrior. So your chest can either come down to the level of your thigh, or you might come to the inside edge of your left leg. Let your head drop all the way towards the mat. Wherever you are, our focus is going to stay mainly on the shoulders and upper back here. So whether you have your fingers interlaced, you're grabbing opposite elbows, whatever you've got going on in the arms, see if you can keep drawing your shoulder blades together on your back so that the front of your shoulder is lifting away from the floor. So the opposite would be curling the shoulders in, collapsing the chest. Instead, we're going to keep the collarbone spread, keep the chest proud. Nice. And let's stay for another inhale here. Exhale completely. Gently releasing your arms now down towards the mat. Well done. You can find either your blocks or the mat here. Start to straighten your left leg, keeping a soft bend in the left knee. Lifting your hips, send your chest forward, and then fold down over that left thigh, coming into pyramid pose. Option here to have one or both knees bent, a little or a lot. Once again, just looking for some sensation in the back line of this left leg up into the hips. And we'll just stay for one more breath in. And breath out. Rebend your left knee. Step your right foot back to come into a lunge. Plant your palms, step back into your plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Take your vinyasa or skip it if you want and meet us right back in downward facing dog. Listen to your body, follow your breath, choose what feels best for you. Now, as you arrive back in down dog, let's take an inhale, sweep the left leg back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. So left heel reaching towards right glute. Option to stay right here, feeling the stretch into your left hip, or we're gonna flip it over into our wild thing. So if you want to flip, slowly drop your left toes back behind you. Weight shifts to your right hand and right foot. Push your hips to the sky, open your chest, and find your back bend here, wild thing. So it's kind of like side plank meets a back bend, looking for that space across the front of your body. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly flip back over. Let's all meet back in downward facing dog. Left foot meets your right foot. Beautifully done. We're going to take that right over to the other side. So as you inhale, send the right leg back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Option to stay right here or start to flip it over. So bringing those right toes back behind you, pushing through your left hand, lift your hips, open your chest, find your wild thing. Keeping that core connection even though we're in a back bend. So feel that navel hugging in. Breathe, let's take another inhale. As you exhale, slowly unwind. Right foot meets your left. Downward facing dog. Well done. Inhale, right leg sweeps back again. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Let's set up for our warrior one on this side. So left heel drops down, turn your toes out. Nice bend in your front knee. Before you even stand up, find your core, find that strength. And then from that place of center, take an inhale to rise. Awesome. Now again, you choose your arm variation. Wherever the hands want to land today is a-okay with me. Start to feel into the power of your legs here, feet anchoring down, hips just about squaring off towards the top of your mat. And then again here, you have the option to stay in stillness, just holding this shape, or we can make it a little bit more dynamic. So if you want that movement, we'll inhale to start to straighten the front leg. As you exhale, sweep your arms back and down. Inhale, rebend the front knee as your arms sweep forward and up. Exhale, back and down as the front leg straightens. Again, inhale, bend as you sweep your arms forward. Straighten as you sweep your arms back. Remember, you can always bend your elbows if you need to. Just looking for this circular motion through the shoulders, continuing to open across the chest. Beautiful. Let's take one more full round here. The next time that your arms sweep back behind you, pause there. Option 1, interlace your fingers. Option 2, reach for opposite elbows. Option 3, knuckles come together. Take an inhale to rebend your right knee, lift your chest. Exhale, folding forward towards that right knee, humble warrior. Once again, you have the option to come down to the level of your thigh, or perhaps come to the inside edge of your knee. Feeling that your legs, your hips are really working here to keep you balanced, to keep you stable. So really push down into your feet. Feel your hips kind of hugging together. And then just like we did before, can you find that little lift of the fronts of your shoulders so that your collarbone stays spread and we keep this little bit of engagement in the upper back. Beautiful. Let's stay for another inhale here. Exhale completely. Slowly releasing your arms down, fingertips towards the mat. Maybe finding your blocks here as you begin to straighten through that right leg. As your hips move up and back, send your chest forward and down over your right thigh. Pyramid pose. Once again, you have the option to bend one or both knees or lift those hands up, maybe on your blocks, maybe on your hips. This sensation is always adjustable, so find what works for your body right now. Let's take another inhale here. And exhale. Nice. Rebending your right knee, send that left foot back to find your lunge. Then with your next natural inhale, step forward for halfway lift. As you exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, rise all the way to stand. Find Tadasana once again, mountain pose. Shake it out, let it go, whatever you gotta do. Our next step here today is to come into that peak pose, our dancer pose. So I have one last little prep for us, and then we're gonna come into this shape. Remember, you never have to do this peak pose today. You don't have to do this dancer pose, but if you choose to, this will get you there. So let's start first by finding that Tadasana again, feet under the hips or slightly wider. Stand up nice and tall and then find that core connection, navel hugging in towards your spine. Reach both arms straight forward, look out over your fingertips. Let's take a breath in here. Side out. Good. Now let's keep the right arm reaching forward. Start to reach your left arm out to your side, just straight out to your side. Now notice with your left arm to your side, can you keep your shoulders and your hips pointing straight forward? So we like to say in yoga, imagine that your hips are like headlights on a car and they're shining straight forward towards that top edge of your mat. So we're going to keep those headlights shining forward this entire time and just experiment with sending your left arm back behind you a little bit more. So send your left arm back as much as you can until your body starts to turn. Once that starts to happen, that's your stopping point. So see what that is for you today. There's no judgment, there's no expectation. Just doing your best to keep those headlights shining forward and keep your breath steady. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring that left arm back to center, reaching the fingertips forward, and we'll try that on the other side. So start by reaching your right arm straight out to your side. Find those headlights shining forward. And then see if you can keep sending your right arm back behind you without turning your body. So we're looking for this movement just coming from the shoulder, just from the upper back. And then bring that arm back to center. We're going to do that one more time each side. So again, left arm reaches out and then back as far as you can. Notice not only if your body turns, but if you start to arch your back or do anything with your pelvis. And then bring that left arm back. Let's try it on the right one more time. Again, reaching back as far as you can without any movement in the torso. And then bringing your arm back through center, drop it down, shake it out, let it go. Nice. All right, so I'll show you our dancer pose first, and then we'll try it all together. So we're putting all these pieces together, all the movements that we've already done throughout our practice are gonna come into this one shape of our dancer pose. So like I mentioned, this is a standing balance. So it's gonna start with balancing on one leg. So that might be where you go for today, just bringing your weight over to one leg and finding your balance, lifting that opposite foot. Then this heel is going to have to come back behind you. So you can imagine that you're kicking a wall behind you to feel that strength, get that little squeeze in the glute like we talked about earlier. Then bringing that hamstring curl, bringing your heel towards your glute. That right hand now, or same arm, same leg, is going to reach back for the foot. Here's the thing, we're reaching for the inside edge of the foot. So your thumb is going to meet your big toe. It's going to be pointing straight back behind you. From there, we're going to imagine hugging your knee in to meet your standing leg, and then stand up a little bit taller. Now a couple things are going to happen all at once here. First, I'm going to kick my foot into my hand. I'm going to draw my shoulder blades back, and I'm going to send my chest forward. So as I kick my foot into my hand, I'm finding this strength through the leg, drawing my shoulder blades together to find the back bend, and then leaning just slightly forward so that I can balance. And then you come out the same way you came in, gently dropping the foot, and you're ready to go. So that is our dancer pose. A few things I want to point out. This is not a forward bend. So yes, we're leaning the heart forward a little bit, but we're not coming all the way down towards more of a warrior three shape. I also want you to be aware of any sensation going on in your knee and your shoulder. So if at any point you feel like a tugging, a pulling, a burning sensation, that's your cue to come out of the pose, okay? So let's try it all together now. Hopefully you're ready to go. We're going to start by balancing into the left leg. So find that left foot, root down, find a little strength in that left leg. And maybe today you just start by popping the right heel, lifting the right foot. Next step, flexing that right foot. We're going to kick the heel back, but see if you can do so without really tilting the pelvis. So kick the foot back, keep your tailbone lengthening down. Then that hamstring curl, heel comes in towards your glute. Next step, right arm is going to reach back, see if you can catch that right foot. Again, really important, your thumb is pointing straight back, so you're holding the arch of your foot. Good. Hug that right knee in towards your left, get a little bit taller. You might even like to reach that left arm up, take an inhale here. As you exhale, kick your foot into your hand, lift your knee to the sky. As you arch through your upper back, shoulder blades come together. Finding that dancer pose, find your breath here. Keep kicking your foot into your hand. Feel that lengthening through your spine even as you back bend. Let's take one more inhale, you got it. Exhale, slowly come out the same way you came in. Dropping that right foot down. Once you find your Tadasana, shake it out. Let it go. Well done. So remember, wherever you get in this pose today is the perfect place for you to be, okay? So with that in mind, let's try that all on the other side, knowing that this side is going to be completely different. So usually our balance is different from one foot to the other, so that's going to be a factor. And then another factor is going to be if this hip and this shoulder want to open up for your back bend. So let's try it out, being kind to your body the entire way. So weight shifts over to your right foot, right leg. Maybe start by popping your left heel. Maybe lift your foot up off the mat. Next step, flex your left foot. Kick your foot back behind you like you're trying to kick a wall. Keep your tailbone lengthening down. Next, we have that hamstring curl, heel towards your glutes. Feel your core engagement here too, navel to spine. Left hand reaches back now, trying to catch the left foot. If you have like a strap or a belt, you could use that here as well. Now let's take an inhale here to get really tall. Maybe that right arm reaches up. As you exhale, kick your foot into your hand. Lift your thigh to the sky, draw your shoulder blades together so you're spreading those collarbones wide. Notice that that left hip tries to turn open. As best you can, keep those headlights shining forward and down. Breathe here. Make sure you're breathing. If you're not, then come out of the pose, please. Good. Wherever you are, take another inhale here. Exhale, slowly come out the same way you came in. Nice. Shake it out, let it go as you land. Well done. Take a moment here just to move freely. Let yourself breathe. And then when you're ready, come back to your Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a second to find stillness here. Root down through your feet, stand up tall. And if it feels okay for you, you can close your eyes. If that feels unsteady, keep a soft gaze towards the floor. And just taking a pause here to really notice how you feel after that shape. Notice how you feel physically in your muscles and bones. Notice how you feel mentally, emotionally, any thoughts or feelings that are popping up here. And remember, no matter what, at the end of the day, this is just yoga. It's not so serious. All together, let's take an inhale here. Let it out. Beautiful. Take an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. As you exhale, really slowly fold forward over your legs. Take your time to come down. As you inhale, find your halfway lift one last time for today. Exhale, fold forward. Drop the head down. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider apart, maybe even as wide as your yoga mat. Let your knees bend and let your upper body really hang heavy here. So finding a little tractioning of the spine, letting gravity lengthen out the vertebrae here, create a little bit more space. And then you can add on here by sending your breath into your back body. Imagine that your breath can massage these muscles, these tissues in your back. Really finding space in that whole area that we just were contracting in that dancer pose to create our back bend. Now, as you're ready, keeping your feet nice and wide, start to turn your toes out slightly, turn your heels in. And then bending your knees, sit your hips back and down, coming into your squat, malasana. So you get to choose how low you want to go in your squat today. You might choose to stay pretty much lifted, maybe elbows on the thighs. You might sit down into a chair. You might sit down onto a yoga block. We've got tons of options here, whatever works for you. And then as you arrive, it might feel nice to bring your arms to the inside edges of your legs, palms together. It might feel nice to take a little bit of movement here, like side to side. So play around, take a few breaths, feel the space in your hips. We're here for another full breath in. And complete breath out. Beautiful. Gently use your hands to help as you come to sit all the way down onto your booty. Sit yourself at about the midpoint of your mat here so you have space in front of you and behind you. And let's start here with the knees bent, feet planted on the floor. Arms are going to wrap behind the thighs here, drawing your chest forward towards your knees, and then dropping your head down, chin to your chest. So just wrapping yourself up in a nice big hug here, nothing fancy. Just giving yourself a little hug after all that we just did on the mat. And a bonus here as well, we're stretching once again into that back line of the body. Coming back to your steady rhythm of breath in and out. And we'll take one more inhale here. Exhale completely. Slowly start to lift your chest away from your thighs, sitting up tall once again. Hands can stay at the backs of your thighs here as you start to lower yourself all the way down onto your back. As you come down, knees will come with you, hugging them in towards your chest. So keeping that sensation of hugging yourself here, but now feeling that support of the earth underneath you. Let's take just a few moments to breathe right here, letting your spine lengthen out once again after that back bend. Beautiful. Please keep your right knee hugging in towards your chest. Bring the sole of your left foot down to the floor. Open your right knee out to the right, and then bring your right ankle to the top of your left thigh. Gently lengthening your right knee away from your chest, looking for some sensation in the outer edge of your right hip here. Now, if this feels like a good stretch right here, you have the option to stay with your left foot planted. If you're not really feeling much sensation, then you might choose to lift your left foot and reach for the back of your left thigh. No matter where you choose to be, see that you can keep your spine long on the mat here, relaxing the weight of your body into the floor. And then see as well that you're not forcing your body into any shape here, but you're allowing for this sensation to happen naturally with ease. making sure that you can still breathe wherever you are. And if it feels safe and comfortable for you, you might close your eyes here. Our hips have been doing a lot for us today to keep us stabilized and balanced. So taking just a bit of time as we finish our practice to send some love and care to the hips. Let's take another inhale here. Exhale completely. If your left foot is lifted, gently lower it back down to the mat. Option 1 is to keep this figure 4 shape in the legs. Option 2 is to uncross your legs. Bring that right foot back to the floor. No matter where you are, we're going to shift the legs over to the left side of the mat, coming into a twist here. So as your legs go to the left, your right shoulder is going to ground down towards the floor. Maybe your arms spread out into a T or a cactus shape if that feels nice. And then notice if you've kept this figure 4 shape, the sole of your right foot will be on the floor. Your right knee is going to continue to lengthen away from you here. If you have the legs together, instead we're stacking the thighs. And let's stay for a few more rounds of breath here. Starting to really slow things down. Allowing your body to relax. We've done all the quote-unquote work. We've done all the strengthening and balancing. So now it's time to tell your body that it's okay to really slow things down, to find some ease and gentleness. Let's take another inhale here. Exhale completely. At the bottom of your exhale, finding just a little bit of core engagement so that you can come back to center, roll back onto your back. Uncross your legs if you had them crossed, planting the sole of your right foot. And then drawing your left knee in towards your chest, let's take that to the other side. So starting with our figure 4 stretch, open your left knee to the left, bring your ankle to the top of your right thigh. And then gently lengthen your knee away from your chest, looking for sensation into your outer left hip. If you're not feeling much going on, then maybe you lift your right foot, reach for the back of your thigh. Now, if you are reaching for the back of your thigh, see that your grip can stay gentle here, so we're not white knuckling there behind the leg. And feel your shoulder blades drop down and back towards the mat, so we're not straining too much in the upper body. And as you breathe here, checking in with the sensation of the left hip. Noticing it might feel a little bit different than what you experienced over on the right. That's completely normal. And once again, as you slow down and steady your breathing, giving your body this cue to find a little bit more softness, to release all that effort in the muscles and the tissues, and to come into this place of rest for these last few minutes of our practice. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale completely. Gently lowering your right foot back to the mat if you had it lifted. Option 1, keep your figure 4 legs. Option 2, uncross. No matter what, dropping your legs over to that right side of your mat as your left shoulder anchors down, coming into your twist here on the other side. So if you have that variation in your legs, left foot is planted, left knee lengthens away from your chest. Otherwise, legs are stacked, left on top of right. Let's stay and breathe here. Maybe closing your eyes if they're not already. Softening the muscles of your face, relaxing your jaw, unclenching your fingers and your toes, giving yourself permission to release, to let go of that effort, and to trust that your mat has got your back here. You are supported. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale completely. At the bottom of your exhale, gently drawing belly button to spine. Using that core support to roll you back onto your back. Unwinding your legs, planting down through the soles of your feet. Moving slowly here, begin to straighten your legs long down your mat. Bring your arms to rest by your sides, turning your palms up towards the sky. Settling in for your savasana, your final resting pose. If there are any props that you'd like to add here, like maybe bringing a blanket over you, maybe you choose to take a different variation here with your arms or legs. But allowing yourself to settle into a place of stillness in your body. And just like we did at the start of our practice together, taking a moment to scan your awareness through your body from head to toe. Noticing any sensations, any areas that feel tight or crunchy, any spaces that feel open and expansive. And noticing if anything has shifted since that first moment that you got on your mat today. This Shavasana is your time to rest, to integrate everything that you've done on your mat today. And I invite you to stay here as long as you can, at least for 5 minutes. Well, this is where I will leave you for today. I thank you so much for meeting me on the mat. Namaste. Be well.